Good evening. Welcome to Hot Mess Issue today, the hit. Please like, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Today, I have on the for or against mask, and the topic is affirmative action and these um, legacy kids that get into college. Now, one, we know why that um, affirmative action was created, you know, to try to um, balance, which, it can never be balanced, but to try to balance and have some um, something fair going for minorities after slavery and all of the um, racism and things that minorities have had to deal with in the United States. Now, you know, affirmative action a lot of times was put in place to help uh, these minorities, and not all blacks, to help them um, get into college and pay for college. But you know, n- 9 times out of 10, these students were more than qualified to get in college, and is always try to be implied that they weren't. That's crazy. They were qualified. They are qualified. They just don't have the financial means to pay for college and need the affirmative action assistance. Even in even in the situation where um, the people make arguments that say Ivy League schools or predominantly white schools um, have a quota that they were saying that affirmative action made them um, admit a certain percentage of minorities in the school. But still, even if that's the case, still those minorities were qualified. It wasn't like, out of 100% of students that applied, they took the bottom 5% to meet the affirmative action quota. Some of those, a lot of those students were in the top um, aggregate of the class, anyway, and should have, if things were done fairly, should have already been accepted. It's usually the reverse. You have a bottom, lower tier of white students that's not really qualified, but get accepted before the minority only because they're a minority and the other ones are white. It's not, typically based on when it gets down that far. It's not based on their intelligence. That's where the problem is. It's based on race, and institutions had been you know being discriminatory. If things had been done right or done right in the first place, you can almost guarantee that whatever number you think, and I'm not even saying it has to be equal to the percentage of minorities that's in society. But let's just say, in society we have 27% of minorities. But in college admissions, I would argue that if things were done fairly, taking race out of the picture, probably between 10 and 15% based on skills and ability and test scores. At least that many would be of minorities would be accepted, you know, and that's why it's a problem. It's not fairly done. It's discriminatory. They see a name, you know, Menendez, and they automatically set that aside. Or they see um, a zip code or area code or a particular city, and they set that aside because they know the likelihood of that candidate is probably going to be a minority. And so it ends up being 3%, 5%. You know, we have, and then it doesn't even stop on the college level. It goes down to private schools, private schools that you have uh, where the admissions is still awarded. You could have a city, say like Atlanta, large number of successful, um, financially capable, affluent African Americans, and you have a private school where the admissions is 2%. Some of them it may be 1%. That's crazy, and that 1% or 2% isn't even all African American. That's 2% of all minorities. So you got some Hispanics, you have some Asians, you have African Americans, you have Indians. So, and in a city that has so many African Americans. So, and that's why we have the problems we have. Now, as it relates to legacy, now I kind of have a different perspective off that. I think legacy admission should be accepted. I mean, if you have two or three generations that have made the commitment to go to the same college, Harvard, Yale, Duke, whatever, that grandchild, great grandchild, great granddaughter, whatever, yeah, legacy admittance should be good. I mean, that's the family has continually supported that institution, and that should count for something. Now, and we just the school should just have to figure out the algorithm or how many legacy admissions or some kind of guideline. But legacy admissions should be, accepted almost always, and at least given a chance, even if they don't have the the demonstrated test scores, skills, or whatever. They should get the chance. Now if they flunk out in the first year, then they flunked out. But they should be able to get in just on legacy, just on their family commitment and supporting that institution over all of those different generations. But also now, if you have legacy admissions, at some point that's going to apply to the minorities as well. Because if somebody's father went to Harvard, the son gonna want to go to Harvard, and the grandson, and because they following in their forefathers' footsteps, and that's supposed to be a good thing, and the institution is benefiting from it. Well, this has been Hot Mess Issue today, the hit. Please like, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.